Your worst enemy is about to become your best friend. In temperatures that would kill you in minutes, people built homes out of the one thing that should make them colder. And somehow, it worked. The physics behind this survival trick will change how you see insulation forever. Minus 40 degrees. You're standing in the Arctic Circle. Your body is already losing heat. So what do? You grab snow and start building. Not ice, snow. There's a massive difference. And that difference is the entire reason you survive the night. Let's uncover why frozen water is actually your shield against the cold. First, we have to break something. Most people think igloos are made of ice. They're not. That's the biggest mistake. Ice is solid and dense. Cold passes right through it like it's nothing. You'd freeze faster inside an ice box than outside. But snow? Snow is completely different. It's roughly 90 to 95% trapped air. Imagine a styrofoam cup or a down jacket. All those tiny pockets between the snow crystals don't just sit there. They trap your warmth and hold it close. When the Inuit built igloos, they weren't making an ice box. They were wrapping themselves in a giant thermal blanket made of frozen water. That's the first secret. Here's where physics gets interesting. Air is an insulator. It stops heat from moving. Snow is packed with air pockets. So when you're inside an igloo, those walls don't just block the wind. They trap the heat your body produces and bounce it back at you. Your skin radiates warmth constantly. In a regular house, that heat escapes through walls and windows. But snow walls are reflective. The warmth bounces inward instead of outward. This is the same reason astronauts wear reflective suits in space. The reflective layer keeps heat in. Igloos work the same way. An empty igloo is still freezing. Here's the problem. Where does the heat come from if nobody's inside? That's where it gets clever. The secret ingredient is you. Your body is a radiator. Right now, your body is burning calories to stay warm. That energy has to go somewhere. In an igloo, it goes nowhere. It stays trapped inside by those snow walls. But the Inuit added one more thing, a kulik. That's a small stone lamp that burns seal oil. Just one tiny flame. That's all. Combined with body heat from everyone inside, the temperature inside climbs fast. From minus 40 outside to around 60 degrees Fahrenheit inside. That's a 100-degree difference created by nothing but physics and fire. Now here's where Inuit engineering gets genius. If you cut an igloo in half, the floor isn't flat. There's a tunnel entrance dug below floor level. Why? Physics. Cold air is dense and heavy. It sinks. Warm air is light and rises. So when you enter through that tunnel, the cold air wants to drop down and stay there. Your living space is above. The warm air stays up top where you are. You're literally standing in the warmest part of the igloo without doing anything. The Inuit sleep on a raised platform. They built it high on purpose. They stay bathed in the warmest air while the cold gets trapped below. Smart design. But there's one more detail most people miss. Here's something wild. Your body heat actually improves the igloo over time. When you're inside, you slightly melt the inner walls. This creates a thin layer of liquid water. Then it refreezes. That refrozen layer seals the cracks in the snow blocks. You're essentially fixing the igloo while you sleep. The structure gets tighter, more windproof, more insulated. Your own warmth makes the shelter stronger. It's a feedback loop. The warmer you get, the better the igloo performs. It's not fighting against you. It's working with you. You might be wondering, why not just use wood or stone? Those materials are denser than snow. They're heavier, but dense materials are terrible insulators. Stone conducts heat away from your body. So does wood. Metal is even worse. Snow wins because it's mostly air. The air pockets are what matter. This is why down jackets work. Why insulation bats work in houses. Why astronauts wear puffy suits. Air gaps stop heat transfer. Snow has millions of air gaps. That's the entire advantage. Nature provided the perfect insulation material. The Inuit just figured out how to build with it. Most people think igloos are just shelters. They're more than that. They're survival machines. In the Arctic, wind is deadly. Wind pulls heat away from your body fast. An igloo blocks wind completely. The curved dome shape lets wind flow over it instead of pushing inside. The entrance tunnel blocks wind gusts. The reflective snow bounces body heat back. The air pockets stop conduction. Everything works together. You're not just staying warm. You're fighting multiple types of heat loss at once. Convection, conduction, radiation. The igloo defeats all of them. That's why people survived winters that should have killed them. The Inuit didn't just survive. They thrived. They understood physics without needing equations. Scientists still study igloos today. Engineers use the same principles in modern insulation. Spray foam insulation works because it traps air. Fiberglass bats trap air. Aerogel, the stuff NASA uses, is 99% air. It's just igloo technology made with different materials. The igloo proved something important. The best insulation isn't about the material itself. It's about trapping air. That lesson changed building science. It influenced how we design everything from houses to spacecraft, all because the Inuit figured out how to stack snow 500 years ago. But here's what's even crazier. Modern igloos aren't built the same way anymore. Most people think they're outdated, but researchers just discovered something surprising. When you combine traditional igloo design with modern materials, you get better insulation than conventional buildings. Some Arctic research stations are now using igloo-inspired architecture. The Inuit knew something we're just now rediscovering. That knowledge was lost for decades. Forgotten, but it's coming back. And it's forcing scientists to ask, what else did ancient cultures figure out that we've forgotten? What other survival tricks are we missing? The igloo was never just a shelter. It was a physics lesson built from snow. And we're only now starting to understand how brilliant that design really was. Every survival tool tells a story. This one changed how we think about heat, insulation, and design itself. The Inuit didn't have YouTube. They didn't have engineering degrees. They had observations, problem solving, and an enemy so fierce it forced them to think smarter. That's what happens when survival is on the line.